Alright, guys, so I'm trying to wait for people to show up, but I guess I can start now, even though there's nobody watching. And then you guys can just go back and watch the recording. This was recommended to me by Mr. Something Some. I don't know how to pronounce his Discord name, but it has come to my attention that this game is something that Leah may have had some experience in back in the day. So I decided to do a playthrough of it. It's one of those point and click story games kind of thing. So we'll see what it's all about, and hopefully we'll keep our minds together. I was really hoping somebody would already log in so I can check and see how the voice volume is compared to the music. New game. I was having that dream once again. That dream. Same thing every night. But it's all forgotten in the morning as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain of gates half opened as if inviting me somewhere, with two frozen stone pioneers standing close by. And also that strange girl who keeps asking me, will you come with me? No, I will not come. But where? And why? And where am I anyways? Of course, if it all happens in real life, I would certainly have been scared. Really? Really, bro? Well, what else would one expect to feel? Just confusion in general. But this is just a dream, the same one every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something is really happening. Something desperately seeking my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real. As real as things in my own flesh, I could open the gates, hear the hinges creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hand, inhale the fresh, cool air, and shiver from the cold. I could, but to do that, I would need to pick myself up, take a step, move my hand. But this is a dream, I understand that. But what of it? What does my understanding change? Because here it's just like on the other side of the cracked screen on an old TV, which struggles to fight against static noise and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture is getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Maybe I should ask her something. The girl. What's her name? About the stars. For instance. Why the stars though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates. She would be so surprised. Or better, why the dot over an I was called a title, but the dot over a J was called a superscript dot. I have no idea what this means. Nice letters, as if they don't exist anymore. Still, what do letters, gates, and stars have to do with this place? Because even if I'm having this dream every night, which will be forgotten soon anyways, I've got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you can see the Magellanic Clouds? I don't know what that is. As if I end up in the southern hemisphere. In a dream, there are these small things that catch your attention. An unnatural color of grass, impossible curves of straight lines. For your own distorted reflection, while the real danger, which could put an end to everything right here and now, seems trivial. It's natural, since here you cannot die. This guy is weird, dude. I know it for sure. I've done it 100 times. But if you cannot die, is there a point in living? I should ask the girl. She's a local. She should know. How would she know? Yes, exactly. I should ask her about the owl, for example. One strange bird it is, though it doesn't matter. Will you come with me? And every time I have to answer, it's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end, and I will never wake up. Alright guys, I know you guys are watching, so it's time to post. Put it in the comment section. Do we say yes, I'll come with you, or no, I'll stay here? What does the chat decide? Decide, chat. Decide. Will you come or not? What will you decide, guys? Come on, I know you're watching. You gotta put something in the chat. Here, let me see if I can do like a survey. Let's see, how do I do this? Okay, Mr. Lunatic says yes. Do we have any objections? You have 10 seconds to object. Yes, also, how are you? I am doing good. I've been just working with a bunch of videos to try to get at least something out every day, because the algorithm has not been happy with me. We've been stuck in 550 subscribers for quite a while now, so we gotta pump out that content. But yes, this is a little game that was recommended to me on Discord. Apparently it's something that Liam used to play, or at least it's alleged that he used to play. So we're gonna go into the deepest lore. It's called Everlasting Summer. So we're gonna go with yes, I'll come with you. Every time it's so hard to decide on the answer. Where am I? What am I doing here? Who is she? And why does so much of my life depend on this answer? Oh, by the way, one more thing, guys. Is the music okay with my voice, or is the music too loud? Or maybe it doesn't. It's just a dream after all. Just a dream. I will say this almost sounds like the way that he writes back in the Scary Story Time with Liam channel. Fortune. I saw Lazy Town there. Oh no. Oh no. The computer screen stares at me as if I was alive. Sometimes it really did seem to me that it was conscious of itself, had its own thoughts and wishes, ambitions, that it had feelings, could love and suffer, as if in our relationship the screen wasn't an instrument, it was me who was a lifeless piece of plastic and textile. There is some truth in that, probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world. Anonymous image boards, some chats from the time to time, rarely ICQs or Jabber, and forums even more rarely. People on the other end of the internet, cables simply do not exist. Well, cables simply do not exist. By the way, this is a Russian game, so there might be some, like, translation shenanigans. Though I do agree, I don't have cable either. Computer life for me. All of them are simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code, or a kernel bug which started living in a life of its own. What's he looking at? Oh, it's the ceiling, I guess. If one looked at my existence from the outside, such thoughts would seem crazy, and psychologists would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnosis and maybe write me a doctor's referral to the loony bin. I wonder if this means that Liam is a confirmed 4chaner. Maybe that's why he's so shy and private. A small apartment with no signs of repair of any semblance of order in it, and always the same view out the window on the gray megalopolis running somewhere day and night. Such are the conditions of my life. Well, of course, it didn't start like this. I was born, went to school, and finished it, like all the others. I was accepted at a university where I spent a year and a half trailing behind and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. Sometimes it was working out quite well. Sometimes it was even getting decent money for it. But it all felt like it was not mine, as if taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living life to its fullest. It was looping over and over in a monotonous circles, like in the movie Groundhog Day. It's just that I had no choice in how to spend my day, and every day repeated itself, the same vicious spiral, a spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. For the last few years, I just sat in front of the screen all day. Sometimes there were menial jobs. Sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. No wonder really, since my needs are quite minor. I hardly ever leave my home, and my communications with other people almost exclusively consist of online correspondence with the anonymous, who have no real name, no gender, no age. So, in brief, a quite typical life for a quite typical antisocial person of his time. OMG, chat, he's just like me. I'm just kidding. I'm past that. I'm a big boy now. Kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale without doomsday-related visions. Maybe some highly respected author will write a novel about me, and it will become a contemporary classic of modern literature. And he did! He went on to make Murder Jones. Alright, one myself. However, what's the point of fooling myself? I tried many times, but I couldn't even come up with a simple short story. I tried to learn many other things as well. Not gifted enough to draw. Oh crap, hang on. Everything alright? Oh. Yeah, that sounded like a bad bump. Baby's okay.
It was just a tiny bump.
Yeah. Alright. I tried to learn many other things as well, not gifted enough to draw. Programming, got bored. Foreign languages takes too much time. The only thing I loved doing was reading, but still never would have called myself a scholar. Perhaps I was an ace at watching anime and grandmaster of lame internet jokes. If I were to get paid for it, I would probably be a happier person and a richer person too, but I doubt it would fill the hole inside me. Guys, this is literally Liam's biography. Today was another typical day of a typical failures, typical life. And today is the day when I have to go to my university reunion. I didn't know universities had reunions. I actually skipped my high school reunion because it was awful. They were charging $50 per person to go in. So because I was already married at the time, it would have been $100 to go and visit a bunch of people that I either don't remember or don't like. Frankly speaking, I really didn't want to. What's the point? The time I spent with them was so short. However, I was persuaded by a friend, my former university mate, and one of the few with whom I kept in touch other than through the internet. I did get to keep one high school friend and my wife, and technically my wife counts because we met in high school. Yeah, this is Russia, I think. We're in anime Russia. Looks like a bus stop. A frosty evening. Bus stop waiting. Yep. I never liked winter. Though hot summer is not my season either, it's just I see no reason to point out any particular time of the year. It doesn't matter much what the weather is outside when you stay at home 24/7. The bus today was running so late that I was about to curse it all and spend my last few hundreds rubles for a taxi. The idea of just returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but there was not a single useful one to seize on. It kind of just sounds like he has no idea what he wants or what he's looking for, so he's just wandering around, just going along with whatever's suggested. Such a thought that you could bring into existence, give a shape, turn into idea, and put it into practice. Maybe I could start my own business, but where would I get the money from? Or maybe I could go back to work in an office. No way. Maybe I should try freelancing? But what skills do I have, and who would I want me after all? I suddenly remembered my childhood, or rather my teen years, the time when I was 15, 17 years old. Why exactly those years? No idea. Hang on, let me read the comments real quick, because nice for you, IG, no one wants me, lol. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. It took me until I was 27 to find somebody that actually liked me back. But in all fairness, by that point, I jacked up in the gym, and I had already had like my college and career kind of going. So it ain't easy. It's not easy breaking out of it, but it does happen eventually if you just keep pushing towards it. I guess it's because back then everything was much more simple. It was easier to make decisions, so complicated now and so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass, and I always eagerly looked forward to the next weekend. Then I could get some rest and have time for the things I like: computer, football, going out with friends. And then at the beginning of the week, I'd wake up my studies again. I'd take up my studies again. Back then, there was no such worrying questions like why, who needs it, what will change if I do it, and what will not change. For me, high school was the complete opposite. Due to a series of events, high school was extremely stressful for me. Every week was a fight for survival for me. It wasn't until I was an adult where I was finally free and happy. Like, my goodness, the American education system is awful. A simple lifestyle, so casual for any normal person and so odd to myself today. That careless childhood age. It's really weird for me. It's really weird seeing so many people talk about how much they miss those days. But for me, it's like the complete opposite. It was also then that I met my first love. Oh no, the first crush. Her appearance and personality have vanished from my memory. Only her name remains, like a brief line from a social network profile, along with the feeling which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Only her name remains, like a brief line from a social network provider, along with the feeling. Wait, I already read this, didn't I? When I was with her. Affections, tenderness, the desire to care for her and protect her. Crushes are for girls, gentlemen. The girl that's for you is the one that likes you back, period. Sadly, it didn't last long. Today, I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like... Oh no, what's wrong with Bebe? Everything alright? Alright, everything's good. I think she's having her diaper changed. She's upset about it.
No, she was dancing and she in the crib and she fell and she hit on the side.
Poor baby.
Yeah. It's okay.
Alright, let me keep going. I would probably like to meet a girl, but I don't know how to start a conversation. What on earth to discuss and how to attract her?
What do you mean? You already met and married me.
Yes. This is the guy challenge though, Honey Bun, seeing a girl from the outside and how do you approach her. Obviously, you need a level of narcissism. You need to embrace a little bit of narcissism to be able to go up to a girl and just be like, hey, I like what I see. Well, I haven't met any suitable girls for a long time, but where could I meet one anyways? The sound of an engine brought me back to reality. A bus pulled over. There was something abnormal about it, I thought. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. Time to get isekai. Yeah. Oh no. I don't think so. Street lights pass by me. It's as if their cold light sparks inside of me, trying to ignite feelings long dead. Or maybe not ignite, just awaken them. Because those feelings, they have been living in me for a long time, slumbering and waking up again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tunes, but I wasn't listening to it. I was watching the cars passing by through the fog up window. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something they need, stuck in their own little world. Why would they care about me? They probably have their own serious problems, or maybe they have much easier lives. You can't know for sure, since all people are different. Or are they? Sometimes someone's actions can easily be predicted, but if you try to look inside his soul, you will only see impenetrable darkness. The bus was approaching downtown, and my thoughts were interrupted by the bright city lights. Hundreds of billboards, thousands of cars, millions of people. I watched the lights show, and somehow I got terribly sleepy. My eyes closed just for a moment, and then... supervise the game. It's a little out there. Nothing too X-rated. I do have the censorship button at the ready. Just in case. Oh no.
Yes, I'm the wife, and at my say so, if I say
Alright, so our protagonist has been isekai'd. He was in 1 minute in Russia, and he woke up in...
Alright, well I have to get the baby to bed, so I can't supervise yet, but...
Okay.
Let me get the baby
Day
to bed.
1. You guys didn't see nothing. Right, I'm gonna try to be a little quiet.
I love you, but you always scream. So please don't do that. I'm trying to get the baby to bed.
Make sure to close the door.
Alright. Well, I will. But
Right.
still try.
Okay, for a little while, we're gonna turn into an ASMR, okay? Bright daylight struck my eyes. At first, I didn't pay attention, as I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Dang, looks like I fell asleep and missed my stop. But there was no door. Looked around the bus and realized that it wasn't a good old worn-out Lias. Instead, the bus was an Icarus model, a new one. I froze in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I patted myself down, feverishly slapped myself painfully in the face a few times, banged my forehead on the back and on the back end of one of the bus seats. It's clear, either I'm still alive or you can still feel pain when you're dead. But how could this happen? Maybe I slept for too long and ended up at the bus depot? And then what? Did they put me onto another bus? I rushed out and took a look around. Greenery wherever I looked, tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers, summer. But how? It was winter just a moment ago. My head was acting unbearably, as if I was going to explode. Slowly I began to remember. A long road running off to into the distance, forest, plains, fields, lakes, and forest again. I think I was sleeping, but then how can I remember all of it? And then a gap. Some girl leaning over. She softly whispered something into my ear. Then a gap again. The question, guys. And then I woke up here. Who was that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, I think about her made me feel better and calmed me down a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. And then, best place to look for her is away from here. I rushed to the left, then to the right, then stopped, hesitating over where to go. Finally, I ran into the direction from which the bus had probably came. Physical exercise does refresh one's mind, though. Thoughts become clearer, and it gets a little easier to evaluate the surroundings or reality. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside, wheezing and trying to ease my sore throat by gulping breath of hot air. In any case, the run did its job. The fear withdrew for a while. Maybe I really am just dreaming. Though, recalling myself warm on the bus, I immediately rejected the idea. I am neither dreaming nor dead. A narrow road ran through the field and far into the distance. That exact same road from my dreams. I must be very far away from home. And it's not just that it was winter yesterday and it's summer now. It's the whole environment. Of course, summer is actually like this, green and hot, but here everything is not entirely lifelike. Everything looks like it was taken from the paintings of Russian landscape artists of the 19th century. The grass is just too lush. The bushes are not like what bushes should be. They are so thick that you can't see anything through them, like tree stumps, honestly. And the trees themselves. The forest was quite far away, but the trees looked as if they had closed their ranks and were now just waiting for the order to advance into the fields and plains. I caught my breath and looked at the bus, which was now barely visible. That was a good run. Fear overtook me once again. Those power lines. There must be people here. But what does this mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Couldn't they have power lines even in hell? Roasting sinners over hot coals, that's so last century. I must have reached the point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely or finally try to understand what is going on. And while I still have a choice, I should pick the second option. I slowly headed back to the bus. Of course, it was scary, but I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields or in the woods, and this wretched bucket of bolts is the only kind of link that I have with the real world. I should carefully scout the area. A brick wall and its gates showed with Sovionok sign, statues of pioneers standing on either side, and a road sign nearby showing the bus route number 410. So it means outlet. Okay, outlet. The trip's taking a bit too long today. I smirked. A person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me now. This place didn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage to the walls. Sovionok. What could have a name like that? Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp. Moreover, it appears to be open. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. The strange girl, the altered bus, the summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly, from alien abduction to lethargic sleep, from hallucination to the time and space of ships. I'm telling you right now, based on this whole foreshadowing, they're not going to give us an answer. None was worse than any other, but there was really no way to pick a single one. Then it occurred to me, I can try to make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number from my contacts list. But instead of signal strength bars, the screen was showing a thick cross. Alright, there may be no signal in such a remote place, though I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves. I examined the bus from all sides to make sure that it wasn't a hallucination. Bits of dirt on the bottom, some rust here and there, faded paths and worn-out trees. No, this is definitely a very ordinary Icarus. Yeah, exactly the kind of bus which takes you to a place beyond your understandings if you carelessly fall asleep. I gave a nervous chuckle. It came out by itself, sporadically, because this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. But where on earth is the driver? I cautiously sat down and kept beside the bus and started to wait. My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seemed to have reached its peak, and I started to go slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would have probably felt something similar. Aliens and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness. Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much. There were so many things that I had no time for yet. I was overwhelmed by ideas. This was definitely the end, but why? It's not fair. Surely no worse than anyone else. God, why? Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. I curled up and started rolling in the grass. Why? What did I do? Why me? But my cries were only heard by the speechless statues of the pioneers and a bird on a tree, which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared to interrupt its after-dinner nap. I was left breathless from weeping and just lay quietly, sobbing occasionally. After a while, I managed to pull myself together. My mind cleared up a bit, as if the terror and fear of death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is all this for? It doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Anyways, for now, it seems there's no danger. The panic was gone, soon gone. Of course, the blood was still pounding in my temples, and my hands were still shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now, there is nothing I can really change anyways, so no matter how much I think or how mad I get, it would only make things worse. Until some actual facts appear, there's really no point in making guesses. In any case, I don't learn anything by lounging about here. This camp, if it's really a camp, looks like the only place where people could be. So I decided to go there, and hardly had a reach to the gates when a girl came from behind them. Alright, so she probably knows what's going on. Wearing a pioneer's uniform. My logic didn't let me down this time. Then again, a pioneer's uniform in the 21st century, and then again, a girl here. I froze, unable to take a step. I felt very much like running away. Running as far away as I could from this place, far from this bus, gate, statues, and far from this bloody bird with its siesta. Just running free like the wind, faster and faster, waving the plates passing by, winkling and galaxies. Jeez, this guy. Running, becoming a pulsar array, and turning into vestigial radiation, running to face the unknown. Running no matter where, as long as it's far away from this place. I think it's safe to say he overthinks things. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. Oh my, so scary. Human instincts work independent of consciousness, and while only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive process, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life in a particular, ensuring stable functioning of the hormonal system. This is why this guy is the way that he is, by the way. I desperately wanted to get less complicated and stop thinking in formal quotes from an encyclopedia, though my thoughts appeared one by one being stupid, out of place, as if taken from an internal monologue of the hero of some junky self-cover crime fiction book. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that looked like 2 armfuls of fresh hay, and blue eyes you could drown in. Holy crap, is this where the blue eyes come from? How you just have Pioneer Girl. Hi, you must have just arrived. Do not reply or reply. If there's anybody in the chat, what do you want to do? Reply or do not reply? Choose. I'm gonna let you choose. Otherwise I'll choose. And you don't want me to choose. Going once, going twice. What's it gonna be, guys? I mean, I guess I'll reply. I want to know where I am. Yeah. Alright then. Welcome. She smiled proudly. Strange. It looked as if I had just a normal girl in front of me. Bah, I shouldn't have returned here. The woods and fields seem better. But what shall I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was a human, or run away, or what? The blood was pumping unbearably in my head, tearing it apart from the insides a little bit more, and the poor pioneer girl would be splattered with the gruesome contents of my skull. What is wrong with this guy? What's so funny about that? The girl looked over to me. It sent shivers down my spine, and my knees started to tremble. This is so weird. Nothing. Great then. Great. What's so great about that? Suddenly a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it all. Forget about the bus behind me. The fact that it was winter yesterday and summer today, I wanted to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that all this is actually happening. Everything is as it should be. All this is for the best. Would you happen to know? You should go to our camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look. You go straight ahead to the square, then turn left. You'll see several small cabins. She pointed to the gate, as if I knew what was behind them. Well, you can ask someone where Olga, the Dmitrievna's cabin is. Tribus is a patronymic, a derivative of a person's father's name, in this case Dmitri, put by Russians after the person's first name as a sign of respect or formal address. Very interesting. I got it. Of course I did. Well, you've got to go now. The girl waved her hands at me and disappeared through the gates. It seems as if to her I was something ordinary. And all this show with the bus and the travels, while awake or asleep, were troubling only to me. Well, everything here is just the way it is supposed to be. Camp leader, pioneers, uniform. What are they doing to doing a historical reenactment here? I hope I won't find Lenin standing on top of an armored car in this square. But even that would not surprise me right now. After standing alone for a while, I headed into the camp. A mere 50 meters ahead, a small one-story house popped up on the left side. The sign near the door said clubs. I was about to come closer when the door suddenly opened and a short girl wearing a pioneer's uniform came out. Gotta find out what these pioneer things are about. Her pretty face gave me the impression of one suffering for the fate of the whole of mankind with a truly universal sorrow. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze, as if frightened. I froze too, considering what was the best to do: to approach the first, or wait until she showed some initiative. Or maybe run away after all, although this last option was constantly being suggested only by my self-preservation instincts. At least that's what I'd like to believe. Not the worst human instincts, but far from the most logical. If this instinct played poker again, deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. And those deductive abilities, or at least their semblance, were a hint to me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl. Suddenly, somebody jumped out of the nearby bushes. A girl wearing a red t-shirt with USSR written on. Such a perfect reproduction of the 80s. She looked quite short from distance, but was probably younger than both pioneers. The one at the gates. At last I decided to come closer, but the USSR I called her in my mind jumped towards the first girl and started telling her something while wildly waving her arms. The other girl in turn seemed confused and lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I would have probably continued to observe their amusing dialogue, but the USSR suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started waving it in front of the first girl's face. That something turned out to be a grasshopper. must not have been too keen on insects, as she instantly rushed off towards the place where Lenin presumably made his speech about the workers' and peasants' revolution. That is to say, towards the square. The USSR glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after him. Not a bad start to the day. Absolutely no clue where I am. Besides that, there are some kids here role-playing as pioneers, and as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from my home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seemed so real, if a little embellished, that I was starting to think that in fact my previous life could have been just a dream. And what am I supposed to do now? I was picking the cracked paving stones with my shoes and staring aimlessly at the club's building. Just a few more seconds before I have to come up with some decisions. That's when I recall myself rolling on the grass, weeping. I cringed in disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct. When all energy from whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. Mine seems to have chosen the second option because out of the blue I found the determination to figure out what was going on, and in order to do that I had to act like a man, like a human, to maintain the dignity of a representative of my own world. I followed the path to the left, on the right side of which stood a small cabin, apparently the homes of the local pioneers. Actually, they look quite cozy from the outside. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I had never been part of its children's organizations, neither the pioneers nor even the younger October children. I imagined the daily life of a typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks with long rows of metal bunks. Wake-up call at 6 o'clock, played by a siren. 1 minute to make your bed, then joining the formation at the drill square. Or wait, could I be confusing it with something else? Suddenly something struck me on the back. I staggered out, remaining on my feet, turned around and prepared to fight heroically for my life. Oh boy, here we go. But all I found was another girl standing before me. My mouth hung open in surprise. Pick your jaw up off the ground. I closed my mouth. Then the same pioneer uniform, but it was a way of wearing it looked, let's say, provocative. Like all the girls had met her here before, this one was rather cute, but her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. New here, are you? Fine, see ya. She threw the threatening glance at me and walked past. I waited for the pioneer girl to turn at the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to. She probably pickpocketed us. The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She did not give off the feeling of some deadly danger, except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. At last, I managed to make it to the square. There was no Lenin on the armored car, although one could easily expect something like that after all this had happened. Instead, however, I mounted a monument to a certain comrade towered in the middle of the square. The letters on the pedestal read, Jinda. Must be some big figure of the party. There were some small benches at the sides. It's quite pleasant here. Where did that girl tell me to go? To the left or to the right? To the left or to the right? To the left or to the right? It was to the left, I remember. And why am I going there anyways? Alright, I've decided to pretend to be normal. So, to the right. No, it's to the left, you idiot! Through a small grove, it came out at a pier. Ooh, huh. I must have taken the wrong turn. Hey, wrong way. Turn towards the hooks. Oh no! That first year stood before me. Now, what did I tell you? Take the left at the square, wasn't it? She had a chance to wear a pioneer uniform to me. Oh, I was still able to introduce myself. No, my name is Slavia. Actually, my full name's Laviana, but everyone calls me Slavia. So you can too. Yeah, I still got a bit confused. The more meaningful answers. What's your name? Oh no, yes, yeah. No, God, nice to meet you, sir. Cover your eyes. Finally, cover yourself up, wench. My feet hanging into the water. I was wearing heavy winter boots, but in such a way there was nothing wrong in getting my feet wet. Furthermore, if I may pull myself over, looking at the river, I was brainstorming and processing everything that has just happened. If this is some kind of conspiracy, it's a weird one, even too friendly at times. No, it's really looks more like a random event. Some entirely incomprehensible random event. Shall we go? Hang on, guys. I'm trying to pay attention to the background. Slavia was standing beside me, dressed in pioneer suit. Let's go. I've been here for a short times, but of all the people I've met, she looked at me least suspicious. However, this fact is already suspicious in itself. We walked to the square. The USR girl and the girl who hit me in the back were there, chasing each other. So it's some kind of game they're playing. Enough running. I'll tell everything to old God, Dimitria. Ah, yes, Captain. I decided to not question Slavia a while back what was going on with local residents. Better meet with this mysterious Olga Dmitrievna first. Sounds like she's the boss here. We walked past the bros and almost exited most identical cabins, some of which look like fat beer barrels, while the others look more like household sheds. Finally, Slavia stopped in front of a smallish one-story cabin. It looked like an artist's painting. The faded paint crippling here and there with age, and it was sparkling in the sun. The windows shattered slightly ajar, where swaying almost unnoticeably in the wind, and huge lilac bushes were growing at the sides. It seems as if the ramshackled hut was drowning in a storm of purple silk, and the lily cat, like some elemental force, were inexorably destroying the troop's leader's house. What are you standing around for? Let's go, Slavia snapped me out of my daydreaming, and stopped teasing Lena already. Oh no, what's going on? Right now? Sounds like there's someone inside. Indeed, a moment later, the door swung open and Oliana ran out and dashed past with the same mischievous grin. The pig-tailed girl came out next. Don't let her bother you, Lena. So her name is Lena. You gotta be thankful it's not Rena, at least. But I don't. Instead of finishing her sentence, she pushed quickly headed towards the square. Okay, so that's the shy one. For some reason, I felt like turning and following her with my eyes, but Slavia said, "Come." We entered the cabin. Inside it looked something similar to what I imagined. 2 beds, a stable, a couple of chairs, a simple carpet on the floor, a wardrobe. Nothing special, but at the same time it felt some home-like and cozy, although this room was almost in the same state of disorder as my own flat. The girl standing near the window appeared to be about 25 years old. Nature had obviously gifted her with a pretty face and a good body. At least one thing can keep you happy in this pandemonium. The locals are... You're finally here. Excellent. thing to notice is that this girl kind of reminds me of Monica with the green eyes and the same hair color. I wonder if that's like a reference to it. I decided to talk as if I wasn't surprised by anything that was going on. She came closer. We've been expecting you since early morning. You've been expecting me? Yes, of course. And when does the next bus come? Because why do you need it? Yeah, right. Why would I need it? Guess I shouldn't ask direct questions. The people here may react to them quite unlike how I prefer. And I doubt I'd get any answers. No reason, just curious. By the way, where are we exactly? Our mailing address, I mean. I wanted to send the letter to my parents to tell them I got here fine. For some reason, I had the desperate idea that if I played along, I would find something out. Oh, but your parents called just half an hour ago. Send their regards for you. Oh, the plot thickens. Now that's a surprise. So, can I call them? Because I forgot to tell them something before I left. No. She gave me a sweet, spontaneous smile. Why not? We don't have a phone here. Then how could my parents make a call here? I've just come back from the district central town. I talked with them there. So that's how it is. And can I somehow get to the town? No. She kept the same smile. Why not? Because the next bus only comes in a week. I decided not to inquire how the troop leader managed to get there and back. I would get no answers anyways. This is so sketchy. All this time, Slava was standing next to me and seemed to find nothing odd in our conversation. Oh, we need to find a uniform for you. I've got absolutely no desire to put on pioneer shorts or to wear this ridiculous red neckerchief wear. However, wearing winter clothes in summer isn't a great idea. Right, thank you. Right, thank you. Excuse me. I wonder if I'm the only one here who finds it strange that someone wearing a coat and winter boots is in such heat. Right, I'll be off then, and you can get yourself acquainted with the camp. Don't forget to come to dinner in the evening. Having said that, we walked out the cabin. What is not the right word, she rushed out. I ended up alone with Slavia. I must go too. Got things to do. Take a walk, look around the camp a bit. See you in the evening. There's no threat or catch to this than this reality as embodied by Slavia becomes more and more appealing. For the first time today, I realized that it was awfully hot here. Although obviously my winter clothes were the burn for now. I took off my coat and dropped it onto the bed. My pullover followed. I was now wearing only the shirt. That's much better. All I could do now was follow their advice and go look around the camp. I'll try to find something out in the meantime. Passing the local residential district, I saw a pioneer guy coming my way. Oh, finally, a fellow bro! And it was really a pioneer guy. Not a pioneer girl. Apparently there were men even in this kingdom of Amazon. Hello, you're new here. You must be Simeon, right? And how do you do? Everyone knows already. I'm electronic, by the way. The real one. You can call me that. I was at first surprised that maybe this girl was reduced to a couple of words, but it was better that way. Electronics vigorousness actively did not fit well with Lady Shinehead. Next, we came to a building which I instantly identified as a canteen. And this here, I know, this here you consume organic food. Yes, something like that. On the canteen's porch stood the unfriendly girl who hit me on the back earlier. At the sight of her, my jerking mood vanished in a blinking of an eye. Really, now is not the best time to be pulling this guy's leg, even though he is quite hilarious. First, I need to figure out what's what here, or at least where I am. Her overheated, blah 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 blah. Be careful around here. He spoke in a whisper. Don't ever risk calling her Va-chan. She doesn't like that. Diva means two in Russian. The whole nickname sounds exactly like two-ish in Russian, a reference to the late Jewish Rue anonymous image board. I don't get it. Yeah. She must have the blink of an eye, on the post and their sorts of electronic is here. Run after them. Definitely run after him. I decided that I had no wish to come across this aggressive Elisa girl again and darted after Electronic. Running to the square, I lost sight of him, but Devon Schweier wasn't chasing me either. However, I really should not risk calling her that, even in my mind. After catching my breath, I wonder why I had reacted like that. Alright, she is a girl, an aggressive one, but why run anyways? Falling to find a good answer, I sat down on a bench and stared at the monument to Jinda. Looks like I'll have to kill time alone waiting for dinner. I decided to go east, at least in the direction where east would be in my world. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. The game was in full swing here. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years, I was not a bad player myself, and even though going professional, but a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of uncertain chances in the game. Kids of different ages were running around the pitch. I could see a boy of about 10 and a girl of about 14 years old. Okay, so there's more people here. A girl. Hey, that's me. Alright, so she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless woman. I was standing quite away from the pitch, but she still noticed me. Hey, shouted, "Wanna play?" Didn't know how to answer. On one hand, running around for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, anyone in my situation could be fine. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response, turn around and walked back. Well, there was one bikini scene that I had to, really skip by. But beyond that,
Why? How bad? I mean, covered up, right?
Yeah, covered up, but it's still embarrassing for me because I'm a scared cat. Our protagonist is a wimp.
Dang.
So he's.
Well, let me get a drink and then I'll pull up a chair.
Okay.
'Cause I'm thirsty.
All right, I'm gonna take a water break as well.
Yeah.
Right now we don't have any viewers, but we did have a couple earlier. So.
Yeah. Let's get some snacks.
Please stand by while I get refreshments.
I like that image. Wait, is that the Grinch?
It is.
I regret never trying it, but at the same time, all the memes kind of scared me that it could like do something to my intestines or something. I promise.
So he was going to a high school, not high school, a university.
Babe, you left the garlic out and started sprouting stuff.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna find it. So he's going to a university reunion because his friend suggested it to him.
Oh, Dave, we can't leave these open. Go back. It's stale.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is
Yeah. He's going to a reunion with his friend for him, but he doesn't really have anything going on for him. And he falls asleep in the bus ride and wakes up in like a completely different place.
Oh, and the onion, I love this out. And it's the brand new. This makes me want to
And everything is summer. He still seems to be in Russia, but can't tell if it's the same year. And the stranger camp members seem to like he's supposed to be there. And I already talked to the camp manager, the person, and she said that our parents had already spoken to her. So there seems to be some kind of time travel shenanigans going on. Because her character's supposed to be an adult.
I realized that more modern because I'm afraid of berry juice. And I'd rather just drink this than actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
the alcohol is fine.
Things are a little sketchy though, because it just so happens. Should we check out her? It just so happens that there's no signal or working phone in the camp, and instead, the camp manager has to go to the next town over to be able to call on the phone. And the bus doesn't come back for another week. And the stranger, now the character, seems to be asking the character why he's covered in jackets in the middle of the night. Who is suspicious? Alright.
Alright, let me pull up a chair.
Yeah.
And let me pull up a chair.
way, there's music and sounds if you want to use the headphones. Maybe have one ear out for me.
Yeah, it's okay.
You don't want to listen to it?
Well, I don't want to, because
Okay.
it doesn't reach all the way. I don't want to be leaning the whole time and stringing
Alright.
it. You know, I wonder kind of what that shake tastes like. Is it like a birthday cake
Probably, yeah.
flavor or vanilla?
Alright, and we're back, folks. Alright, so our main character's wandering the camp trying to figure things out, trying to meet the locals. We have met a boy NPC, but I want to be friends with him because bros before hoes, but I'm scared that the game will...
You think he's going to be competition?
Well, no, I'm just scared that the game might get the wrong idea.
Oh my.
I was followed by Oleana screams about my pants or about me being a pantsy or something like that. Oh yeah, the angry one. Hang on. Evening was falling, making me feel tired and empty after a day wasted with no real purpose. Hang on, I should probably have the microphone a little closer to me. Excuse me.
Oh
I-
boy. Is that supposed to be like their Kim Jong-un or whatever?
Well, Lenin, yes, actually.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench, and gave an exhausted sigh. I'd better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. Excuse me. They do give food to the people here, right? You know, it's curious how simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. For example, I feel hungry now, so I care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. Could great people also be affected by this? And in that case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and I does not really matter which mechanism I serve as a gear in society, the Matrix or the weird pioneers camps. He really overthinks things.
Yeah. Well, he's wasting time having all these philosophical thoughts when he should be like trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of bells chimming from the loudspeakers on a pole. It must be the dinner call. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing that now I knew where it was, actually. Olga Dmitrieva was there, standing on the porch. So that's the head honcho. Which, by the way, okay, call me crazy. Does she not look like Monica from Doki Doki? Green eyes and the same hair color.
Yeah.
And if this
Wait,
is
which one's Monica again?
the crazy the one
The
that
crazy one?
the one that's technically not even like a dating option, but then at the end it turns out that she just wanted you all along.
Spoiler alert for
Spoiler
people who haven't
alert.
played Doki
Yeah,
Doki.
I just find it weird that this is the camp manager in a dating game, and she kind of looks like Monica. I wonder if the person that made Doki Doki got inspirations from this. Kind of weird, huh?
Mhm.
Because you gotta admit, that's a very particular look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. Okay, we've got Koromi edits 1, 2, 3. Yes, hello.
Hello.
She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Simeon, oh yeah, that's her name, Simeon. What are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. My stomach backed me up here. Oh no, social anxiety. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I'd had a chance to visit the factory canteen at some point in my
By the
life.
way, all the guys and all the girls look the same. Like they have the same haircuts and faces. Like
So-
if you look long enough, they're just repeats.
I don't want to think. Well, they're Russian, Honeybone. This.
That one actually looks like Liam. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can see. I can see what you mean by that.
Wait, show them which one we're talking about.
Oh, we're talking about this one. Is that a Liam Easter egg, guys?
We always joke about how he self-inserts himself into stories.
No, he didn't make this.
I know, but it's just a funny coincidence.
This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls and the floor, unsophisticated tableware with occasional cracks. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer's camp's supposed to look like. Simeon, wait a moment. We'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Devinchkava, hold on right there. I can't pronounce that name. Okay. Alright. Oh God, Dmitrieva shouted at Elisa, who was passing by. What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looks somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. Alright. Elisa got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So where can I find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Go over there, next to Olyana. Maybe. Yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the tables too. I had no other choice but to accept. In common Russian language, cutlet is minced meat, fried or baked in the shape of a ball or a cylinder, close to American patties. Combo is a drink made by boiling fresh or dried fruits and a large amount of water. Compote in French. Of course, there was probably the probability that the cutlets were poisoned with curare, the mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote.
So he's being paranoid.
To be fair, he has every right to be paranoid after waking up. But it all looked so tasty that I had no chance to resist. Hey, what you want? I replied rather rudely to Olyana, who was sitting next to me. Why didn't you play football with us? Because of my clothes? Said I pointed at the source of the problem. Oh, alright then, eat. However, there wasn't much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from the plate. Only she could have done it. No more precisely, none, but also could have done it. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you are careless. Give it back, I'm telling you. Attempt to take the cutlet. Do not attempt to take the cutlet. I'm not gonna take the cutlet. This little wrench can have it.
Take it back in time.
Yeah, but this is just like kid. This is like a kid. If it was a guy, then I'd be like, yeah, give me my meat, boy. But in this case, it's like, no, that, and I think the game might be trying to build a relationship with the child. No, do not attempt to take the cutlet. She's significantly shorter than the other characters. And I'm not making any accusations any further. See, I don't have it. Indeed, Yuna's plate was empty. Okay, so her plate's empty, so allegedly she doesn't have it. See, this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlet. Take it easy, we'll work something out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. if they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Eliana returned and handed me the plate with the steaming hot cuddle on it. Okay, so she gave us back the food. Here's one for the starving. Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. Picked up the cutlet with my fork and oh no! A centipede hunted all whoever showed food. Some bug. No, not a bug. An insect. It got legs and little wiggling. The plate fell on the floor and broke into pieces. The chair sticking hard to my legs while falling. I've disliked insects since I was a child, but when these creepy crawlies appeared on my plate, that's just way too much. You little kind of seem ready. Yeah. She had just heard the first comedy joke. I dashed after her. We ran out the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt I would catch this little girl easily. No, dude, what is this guy doing? We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran into the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. I told you, he already graduated from college. He should not be chasing this child. Yeah. Eliana passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. It simply can't. I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to the camp. Yeah, by the way, if this is Russian wilderness, I would not get close to the forest. The bears are high.
Well, that and all kinds of weird stuff exists in this Russian forest.
However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, gotta choose a random. Alright, we found the square. I wandered for quite some time in the forest, and even though I thought of crying for help, but finally saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone, I mumbled quietly. On one hand, there was nothing strange about that. The bus couldn't just stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving, because buses do not drive themselves, or do they? This world seemed too normal, but every event here had at least two explanations for it: an ordinary, real, everyday explanation, and a surreal one. Certainly, the drivers could have just been off for a snack, and I left too soon, and that's why. In any case, this is not the place for me. Whether that bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important to know how I had gotten there at all, and where this here was. The field and the woods stretched towards the horizon had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. A strange, odd, and alien world. However, at the same time, it was absolutely not frightening. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resist from its jobs, or it's running around the camp. And the local I'm trying to read fast. And the local pioneers had lulled me into such with the carefree normality that I was simply forgetting that it had happened to me just a couple of hours ago. Although I probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to just have a break from it all. And only after that would I continue to look for answers. I couldn't read the other. Wait, what the fuck?
That's like the full transcript, yeah.
However, that would be sometime later. And what about now? Can I allow myself to relax? it got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when someone came up silently from behind. So this is the first person that showed up to the gate when we got to the camp. So there's something a little sketchy about this individual. Hello, what are you doing here late? It was Slavia standing before
Well,
me.
she's blonde hair, blue eyed. How do we know she's not a Nazi?
A German spy. Germans.
Or
I was-
part of the, what's it called? The Russian,
You mean
Russian mafia or whatever. Or the Russian CIA. What's it called?
I forgot. It's at the tip of my tongue.
I know, right?
Yeah. I was so surprised that I jumped. So you didn't catch Uliana, did you? She smiled. I nodded disappointedly and sighed. No wonder. No one ever has. Oh, crap. Nope. Hang on. Let me check something. Here. I'm checking something.
No, I didn't.
Okay, we're good. Just wanted to make sure. Give me a second, guys. Alright. There we go. Back to the show. Let's make sure nothing private showed up.
No, I didn't. Look for your microphone.
Alright. No wonder, no one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She should have found a better use for her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all. Indeed, I had completely forgotten about my hunger, but after these words of hers, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving a traitorous rumble. Slavia smiled. Let's go then. What, is the canteen still open? It's all right. I have the keys. The keys? Yes, I have the keys to all the facilities in this camp. How come? Well, I'm something like the camp's leader's aide here. I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks. Wait a minute. Is this the same square? I don't
it's at night.
I don't remember those. Okay. Must have missed a lot of details. Excuse me, I should warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worried otherwise. You go on to the canteen and I'll come in a minute, alright? Alrighty. I really did not expect to find somebody aside from myself there at such a late hour, and that somebody was apparently trying to helplessly to open the door. Without any secrets, though, I walked up onto the porch. The lock pinker turned out to be Elisa. She's like the bully girl. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, then said, "Don't just stand there. Give me a hand or something." Meaning, help me open the door. Why? 'Cause I want some buns and kefir? Dinner wasn't big enough? Is that really a good idea? Aren't you hungry yourself, huh? Well, Liana didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she? She smiled sarcastically. It's true, she didn't. It's fine. Slavia will come now, and what? Guess I shouldn't have said that. I'm off then. And you'll pay for this. You owe me 2 already. Having said that, Alisa disappeared into the night. And what was the first one? Slavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. Is everything alright? Yes. Where are you asking? No reason. It's nothing. It would be better if it didn't tell her about Alisa. Everything's fine. I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice. Well, shall we go? As for Slavia, she seemed not to have noticed anything, or at least she was pretending she hadn't. We entered the canteen. Wait a bit, I'll go get something. Said, oh no, Hannibal, are they gonna put us in a weird, awkward date situation? Said,
Well, she said wait here. She going to slip into something more comfortable.
well, we already saw her in a bikini. She was diving into like the lake or whatever. Yes. I sat down in the chair and obediently waited for my savior. My dinner was simple: a few buns and a glass of kefir. Isn't kefir like that juice thing? No wonder. I bet hungry pioneers finish everything off. However, oh yeah, that's another thing. I don't know if it's like a Russian thing or what, but instead of campers, he refers to them as pioneers because of their uniform.
Maybe it's kind of like a scout type thing. What are they saying?
Well, says hi.
No, it's not high. It's
Ha. Oh,
It's spelled like that, I think.
okay. Yes, I don't know. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something? Well, of course they like him. He's the main character of a dating sim.
I'd like to see what he looks like.
Look,
Just
every time people do a dating sims, the main character is always like this like Chadley thing. Could you imagine somebody like your cousin actually like being the main protagonist of a dating game? You know which one I'm thinking of. The one that starts with a P and rhymes with J. I want to see a dating game through the perspective of one of those. It's more fun, Hannibal. Alright, so is there something in my face? No, just she smiled. So how did you like your first day in the camp? Well, I don't really know. It's silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in a different reality whether he liked the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned hut. It's alright, you'll soon get used to it. Slavia started out the window dreamily. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she does not know, or at least she wants me to think that she doesn't. Well, all in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. Do you think so? It's only night one, on day one, I mean. I'm guessing.
So he's the protagonist. It's a dating sim, and most dating sims I've seen, they're doing a lot more on day one.
We'll see. She asked without any interest. Yes, this place is so, I wouldn't say retro, but I managed to hold back that. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew. If the term life was applicable here at all. So how? She watched me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely, yes, it's lovely here. I guess you're right. She smiled again. It's very good that you think so. Why? Well, not everybody likes it here. And what about you? Yes. I love it here. It's great. You don't need to worry about what the other people think. Well, I don't really worry. Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to go to. And you're worried yourself. Really? Why do you say so? Well, when someone is chewing so intensively, I'm sorry. It's okay. I couldn't bring myself to be more cautious around that girl. But why her in particular? Why not any other local inhabitant? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely normal. So normal it sends chills down my spine and into my marrow. Normal, not like neighbors with power drills in one hand and subwoofers in the other. Not like a passenger you can often meet in a subway or in a public transport. Not like a co-worker at the next table in an open plan office. And not like in a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant insistence. I think that's what it's. All of them look normal, as if I would expect them to be, with their own downsides, but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her silently, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp, but I was ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything on my own, I guess. Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so broadly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay, and what have you seen so far? Okay, so this is interesting. She's that, and she's, oh, I didn't notice that, and she's interrogating us. She's asking us questions, like very specific ones about like the camp and stuff. I find that a little interesting. And again, this is the first character that greets us to the camp after we wake up in the bus. I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field, and what about the beach? Just from the afar. You really should go there, or at least do it together. Ooh, we're gonna have a beach episode, guys. Is this the legendary beach episode that Liam promised us so long ago?
I'm sorry, I just keep where they end up getting sucked into a video game and
Oh, I know. There was an actual game. It was called Dead or Alive, something or sort. And you were basically a camera guy that had to take pictures of models. Just
It might have been that, but
that was the reference.
They used a different.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they keep getting sucked into video games, and then at the end they get sucked into that. And their lives happen. They all girls.
I know the game because at the time it was very popular. It was like the meme game that people would talk about. I was at a GameStop, okay, getting this little game or whatever. There was this kid, like probably 10, this little, he was trying to buy it, but the dad, he wasn't paying attention, and then the freaking GameStop guy that was selling it to him narked on the kid. He was like, "Excuse me, sir, before you buy this, I should warn you that there's partial nudity in it," or so he gives him like the whole spiel, and then the dad actually like starts paying attention to the cover.
It's not that he is not I actually was friends with some kids in high school who worked at GameStop, and if you like years out and they came back, there could be lawsuits, there could be fired for not like disclaiming that to parents. So as much as they hate it, and they absolutely hated doing it, because they let little poop monsters have their name.
To be fair,
But at the same time, they didn't want to risk their jobs, so they kind of
it was hilarious.
But to be fair, that kid did not need to be getting that kind of thing, and his dad needed to be paying attention. Parents need to pay more attention.
To be fair though, to be fair, I will say this. I know for a fact that the game doesn't have anything like super inappropriate. It's just, some of the characters have good scantily clothing on, and it's just when you take pictures. So it's not. It doesn't go beyond that.
It's like basically when Playboy started versus where it is now.
Yeah, more or less. All right, let's get back to the
Yeah,
plot.
she's looking directly at us, the player.
Let's do it together. Yeah, we will. Naturally,
Her eyes are like
this
following.
scared me, but then I thought, what if everything happened here is now supposed to be, and this world looks strange only to me, or for me it is normal. Maybe I was thrown into the past. Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Zuba smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find a... Okay, this is not the first time she does this. Where he's like getting ready to ask a question that will pry more into this world or what timeline we're in or something.
And
She's like, no, bye.
this is very a mix of Doki Doki and also WandaVision, I feel
Can you
like.
find the way to Olga Dimitrievich by yourself? Of course I can, but why should I go there? She'll settle you with someone. What for? Probably. This question seems stupid because Levia burst into a good natural laughter. You need to sleep somewhere, right? That makes sense. Fine. I'll be off then. Good night. Night. Alright, I wonder who they're gonna put us with a roommate. I hope it's with Bro. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. I'm gonna be so pissed if they put me bunks with another girl, Haniban.
They're trying to get you to do it. The big gorilla.
They're trying to sue me. They're trying
to seduce you.
I just want to hang with the bros.
That's right.
They
Bros
bundled a
before
few
hoes,
left in
right?
the door of the Conway attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. Take the keys, leave the keys. What were the keys for again? To what's her face?
Just take the keys. I don't know why you would leave any type of key
Yeah.
behind.
I better take them. I'll give them back tomorrow because who knows what'll happen here at night. Such a thought gave me chills. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know why you leave keys
God,
behind,
wasn't
especially in
silent
a
at
weird,
all.
creepy game.
Here, chirping crickets or something. Well, the bears will break in, Honeybone.
And bring
Silly.
well, we don't have to worry about the bears in Russia because they're too busy getting high off of jet fuel. Does anyone else get that reference?
The sudden desire to follow Slavia advice.
Look up Russian bears huffing jet fuel. It's a delight. It's a delight to watch.
I don't know why, but the sign of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood.
Is this a pro-commie game?
I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much brighter than near the canteen, and tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus summer camp girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation from what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable blah 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 nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. A girl reading a book. Lena. So we've already met Lena. She's the shy character. I decided to move closer and talk. She was the only person I had met here without exchanging even a few words. Hi, what are you reading? Lena was so surprised that she even jumped. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Never mind. She blushed and stared at the book again. So, what are you reading? On the cover was written, "Gone with the Wind." Oh my. Praise the book or keep silent. Look, I want to be nice to these characters, but at the same time, I'm like, well, no, it's like, what are you trying to do, game? Are you trying to send me astray from the path of God? Exactly, so... Damn it. chat, if you're reading this, if anybody's in the chat, please help us decide. Praise the book. Decide. I'm just scared. I'm just scared that this will domino into something. Look, man. 1 minute we're making jokes about the book, then bam, you're naked. I don't know.
Really?
It's night 1. Let's just be nice because
I know, but it is a dating sim, and you can't ever underestimate them. Because crazy stuff can happen on night 1. I remember watching, I think it was Markiplier, or maybe it was Jacksepticeye. It was one of those. They were playing the dad dating simulator, and they banged the guy on night 1.
Really?
Day one, actually.
Really?
It was in the afternoon on day 1. They banged the guy.
No.
Yeah.
Don't tell
So,
me
I
that.
mean, that's one of the options you can do. There's many options throughout that game. But if you play your cards right, you can bang a guy on the first night. And dad dates. Or no, it's not called that dating simulator. It's called Dream Dad. That's what it's called.
Look, we're in an awkward situation either way. Let's just praise the book and move on with our day. I'm sure this won't be like the thing that will set in stone everything, right? Like, there's no way.
You say that now.
We'll see. Praise the book. Good book. Thanks. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think that such literature suits her very well. Leanna didn't seem to be interested in continuing the conversation. Well, if I'm bothering you, no, she answered while still looking at the book. And I sit beside you for dick, man, but see what I mean? Freaking Simeon. Yeah, but I would be like, good book. Now, if you excuse me, I've got shit to do.
Well, he does. He's got to find the place he's supposedly sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. Why? And really, why?
Also, that girl was kind of a word for like saying like you can die old as what you're and just like thinking and it's like dude, I just got into town after this
Well, we already met Olga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't here for the beginning of the stream, so
Look, you gotta remember, Blondie is the quest giver and the probably
Lonnie
self-aware.
looked right through my soul.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Maybe it's just because I was very tired of
Lonnie
having
has
company.
X-ray vision.
It's better than being alone. Maybe I wanted to try to find something out from
She's
her.
like, oh my, I can't even afford to sit next to me. That's not what I'm
I carefully examined Lena, but no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to. Feel free. But I'm bothering you. No, you're not. Can I leave? I can leave. Just say everything's alright. Okay then. I sat on the end of the bench carefully. After such, by the way, this is the last time that I do anything nice for anybody. I'm gonna be a jerk from now on.
Is this the turning point? Is this?
This-
Are you going to do
Well, yeah, I just wanted to compliment the book. I didn't want to sit next to her. The game has betrayed me. After such an intense talk, staying here was the least thing I wanted. But it wouldn't be nice to just stand up and leave. That didn't really go well, huh? It seems that I made a fool of myself. I bet if Oleana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. Do you enjoy being here? I recalled the Slevia question and thought it would be a good start for the conversation. Yes, she smiled slowly. I guess I like it too. Leanna definitely isn't very sociable and probably can't carry on meaningless conversations as easily as Levia, but there was something about her that attracted attention, like a momentarily glimpse of a reflection of the glass of rainy stumbled evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but it still felt so tempting. Lena was still reading the book without paying attention to my presence, and I had no intentions of asking her for anything about this camp or this world in general. Beautiful night, yes. How in the world would you start a conversation with her? It's late, I have to go. Yes, it's quite late. Good night. Night. I'm telling you, last time I do anything nice, there was something strange about this girl. At first glance, she's a typical shy and modest pioneer girl. The mystery of Lena took its own place in a massive list of mysteries about this camp, which I had to start to put together in my head.
She reminds me of me back in the day when I was very shy.
Silly. A lazy evening, there's nothing like
She
good
seems
time
innocent.
with nothing to do. I headed towards Olga Dmitrievna's cabin. Dmitrievna's?
Don't even try to pronounce these weird Russian names, okay? They make no sense.
The light in the house was home.
Oh, that's a nice little woman.
Hello, Simeon.
I like this.
Hello,
little
Simeon. You're
too.
quite
Oh, that's
late.
nice.
Yeah. There's a bra over there, Hannibal.
Oh,
Scandalous.
no, you're gonna bump into this girl. Wait, who's that? Who's that ugly Uncle Fester looking dude on the wall there?
I'm just gonna say it's Uncle Fester.
Nah,
Yeah.
well, no, that's not exactly Uncle Fester.
I know, but I prefer. Oh crap! Give me 1 second, guys. to her Parker has not looked at himself in the mirror, by the way, so we don't know if he's gotten younger.
Well, also he's being a wimp. She's just like, if you're gonna say something, speak up. You need to address adults, whatever, blah blah blah. And that's at that point I would have just yelled out, "What the f is going on? I'm a guy, you're a girl, and we're bunking together. And you're a woman. I ain't changing in front of you. You ain't changing in front of me. This is completely inappropriate conduct. And you're the camp counselor. This feels very child molestering."
And in any case, I wasn't in a position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumble. That's much better. That is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time to sleep. Honestly speaking, I was going to become neither a decent nor an indecent pioneer. Since yesterday I was going to become a pioneer, I wasn't going to become a pioneer after all. But do I have a choice now? If you don't want to, we'll have to make it. This is the model Olga Beatrice was probably going to use. I climbed into the bed and closed my eyes, only to realize how tired I was after today. Something hammered in my head awfully, as if my brain had started a night shift, and they seemed to be aimed more at rolling steels than working at something more sensitive. The buzz flew through my mind, and the square with the monument, the canteen full of pioneers, and the malicious face of Yulina, Slavia,
Oh my.
Lena, and even recalling Alisa didn't give me too much of a negative feeling. I guess these are the game options, I don't know. What if I'm here for good? Day 2. Yeah, so at the beginning, while he was waking up before he got on the bus ride, he said he kept having a dream, the same dream, but he kept forgetting the dream. The only thing he remembers is a girl saying, "Will you come with me?" right before he wakes up. So now we're wondering, is he dreaming again? Is this the dream that he keeps repeating? And if he keeps repeating the dream, why? Is it a memory?
Oh, could be.
I was having a dream. It seemed like it was some kind of vacuum with nothing but nothing around me. But not only around, I was the only creature in the universe, as if the universe had returned to a state of singularity right before the Big Bang, and something was just about to happen. Suddenly I hear a voice. I could not make out the words, but it sounded familiar. The voice was whispering something gently, as if soothing me, and then I realized it was the voice of that strange girl from the bus. Okay, that's the thing he's talking about, what I just said. The girl from the dream. But what is she trying to tell me? Who is she? I woke up. Bright sunlight struck my eyes. It was almost noon. After stretching lazily on the bed and yawning, I started to recall the previous day. Dang, he slept until noon? That's pretty bad. Seconds, all of the events passed before my eyes. The bus, the camp, the local inhabitants. No, that's just wrong. Not this whole situation. Not me being here. It was wrong by default. My attitude sort of was happening was wrong. Because yesterday I fell asleep here just like that. And before that I chatted nicely with the local pioneers. Even managed to crack a few jokes. How could I act like that in such a situation? I should be frightened, startled by every little rustling. Should I avoid contact with potentially hostile creatures? The last day's events were getting hazy, like I had a hangover. This really feels like morning after a heavily drinking party. Yesterday's natural flawless, absolutely normal conduct becomes a nightmare in the morning. A grotesque illustration from the Divine Comedy. Yes, it's just like that, and I can't change the past now. Then again, I had probably assessed the situation and was acting accordingly. somewhere else, but Olga Dmitrieva cabins looked the same as yesterday's. Everything seemed to be in its place except for a pioneer's uniform, which was hanging from the bed's head. I fumbled distrust and tried it on. At least this is better than walking around with winter clothes. Wish I could see myself, but I looked like a clown, and for that I need a mirror. At least a tiny one. I finally found one in the wardrobe before. See, I told you, he got younger. I looked at a few newfound pioneers and jumped away in surprise. There was some teenager on the other side of the mirror. He resembles me, but he wasn't me. Where did this weak stubble go? Where was the bags under my eyes, the slouch, the deathly fatigue on my face? It seems that I have not been thrown back in time or into a parallel reality, but instead had simply changed bodies with someone else. Right, that's real simple. Such a thing happens every day. Look closer, look at this stranger, and only then realize that it actually was me. It just wasn't today's me, maybe the one from between my school and university years. Well, at least that's something. There you go. The person in the extreme situation did fail to notice the elephant in the room after all. But the camp leader noticed it, and last night she told me off to address her without proper respect. Screw that. I doubt my appearance affects anything else. If the clock was not on, breakfast was long over. Oh well. I tried to find something in the canteen. I worked out a lot yesterday with Slavia. Those memories made me smile involuntarily. The sun was shining brightly outside. The light breeze was howling. And let's pause it here, guys. Quite an adventure. Where's the save button?
No, I didn't. Oh, safety.
There we go.
There we go, yeah.
And yes, we'll call it